Okay, so we got to F yesterday. This is a lot of review because we've already done this stuff before. So it says f of x equal to g of x. And it's actually looking for values, so we're actually going to solve this one. If you look up at the top of the sheet that you have, f of x is equal to negative x squared plus 3x minus 5. And we're going to try to set that equal to g of x, which was 1 minus 2x. So we just set those two equal to each other because it says f of x equals g of x. Now, I've asked this question lots of times. Let's see if we can get it. How do you solve an equation that has an x squared and an x?
So it's equal to 0.
Yeah. Set it equal to 0 and factor it. Or if you can't factor it, use quadratic formula. To set it equal to 0, I'm going to move this stuff over there. Why? Why didn't I just... Go ahead.
It's a negative?
Yes, because the number in front of the x squared is negative 1. And if I leave it as a negative 1, then I'm going to have to do the long no-fuss method to factor it. And I don't want to. So we'll move everything to the other side so we don't have to. So we add x squared. So that's just x squared. I subtract 3x, and there's already a minus 2x, so it's minus 5x. And we add 5, and there's already a 1, so it's plus 6. Did I lose anybody? Okay, sweet. And we factor. Two numbers to multiply to give me 6, but to add to give me negative 5.
Negative 2 and negative 3.
Okay, had lots of different things. I heard 6 and 1. Okay, negative 2 and negative 3. If I multiply those, I get positive 6. If I add those, I get negative 5. If I do 6 and 1, the reason why it won't work is because I have to have the signs being different for them to add to give me negative 5. But when I multiply them, I won't get a positive 6. So that's why it's not 6 and 1. Set each one equal to 0 because it actually says to find the values, not just the equation. So there's your answers. Okay, and then G. Find an equation for f times g of x. That's just a fancy way of writing f of x times g of x. We're just going to multiply those two things together. That's all it means. So f of x is negative x squared plus 3x minus 5. And we're going to multiply that times g of x, which is 1 minus 2x. Now, you can't technically call this foiling because it's a trinomial. There's 3 of them. But it's the same process. You're going to take each number in the first equation and multiply it times each number in the second equation. So we have negative x squared times 1, which is negative x squared. Negative x squared times negative 2x, that's positive 2x to the what? Yeah, remember you add the exponents when you're multiplying. So that's a positive 2x cubed, or to the third. And then 3x times 1 is 3x. Yep, minus 6x squared, because 3x times negative 2x is minus 6x squared. And if you have these in a different order, that's okay. Minus 5, good. plus 10x. Good. Multiply negative 5 times both of those. Positive 10x because negative times negative is positive. Careful with your signs. Sweet. Combining like terms, we have negative 7x. Nope, just kidding. Well, that's true, but I left out the 2x cubed. Then negative x squared, negative 6x squared is negative 7x squared. 3x and 10x is 13x. And then minus 5. Did we talk about bow tie method in here yesterday? Okay, cool. We'll talk about it today then. One part each. We're adding 2 on h, so g plus p of x just means g of x plus p of x. That's all that means. And if you look up here, g of x is, again, 1 minus 2x. And you add to that p of x, but p of x is a fraction. X plus 2 over x minus 3. Normally, to add fractions, you have to get a common denominator, which I'm going to do. I'm just doing it using what I call the bow tie method. You may have heard it called something else, or maybe you've never learned it. But it works good for me anyways. The bow tie method you can use anytime you're adding or subtracting two fractions. Any two fractions, whether they have numbers, variables, or combinations. So to do the bow tie method, you multiply diagonally. So I'm going to multiply 1 minus 2x times x minus 3. So 1 minus 2x times x minus 3. Then whatever sign is in between the two fractions. So if I'm adding the two fractions, I put plus here. If I was subtracting the two fractions, I'd put subtract here. And I multiply the other way. So I multiply 1 times x plus 2, which is just x plus 2. See how it's kind of looking like a bow tie around your neck. And then on bottom, you get by multiplying the bottom two together. So 1 times x minus 3. And that is the bow tie method. So then from there, it's just simplifying. Now, if you have another way, like you multiply the top and the bottom by x minus 3, that's really the same thing. That's what I've done. I've just done it in a different way. So I don't care how you do it, just as long as you get it. But this is the way I'm going to do it. Okay, so I'm going to FOIL those on top. And 1 times x is x. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Negative 2x times x is negative 2x squared. And negative 2x times negative 3 is positive 6x. And plus x plus 2 all over still x minus 3. Combining like terms on top, I have a negative 2x squared. X plus 6x is 7x, plus 1 more is 8x. And negative 3 plus 2 is minus 1. All over x minus 3. So that's it for finally day 8. this is the last of it, day 9. Before our test. The test is basically set up like your quiz was. You're going to have some multiple choice. You're going to have some free response. It's just bigger because it covers more material. And that's why it's going to be over 2 days because I want you to have plenty of time. First day is the multiple choice. Next day is the free response questions. It seems thicker, but still more. Yes, we felt the need to draw the Titanic. I heard this question talking about it.